You can rely on WWE to do a number of things. Push the tall dude, break up the tag team long before they're ready, and Hulk Hogan will always come back. You can also rely on WWE to put it right the f*** out of the f***ing bag when it comes to WrestleManias with a multiple of 10. Mania 30, Mania 20, Mania 10 are all fondly remembered classics that hold up to a rewatch. Is it a coincidence that all three saw the crowning of a beloved technical darling that traditional wrestling wisdom would dictate did not quite belong closing out the shows over tall, muscle-bound man-cows? No, it's not, and like Bret Hart and Chris Benoit before him, Daniel Bryan reached the mountaintop at WrestleMania 30 to a huge outpouring of emotion. What happened afterwards is a bit sad, but hey, we'll always have the Silver Dome. Also, the streak ended. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 fascinating facts about WrestleMania 30. Number 10, Hulk Hogan was instructed to stay away from the Ultimate Warrior. Hogan and the Warrior did not like each other. They're sort of like the Jack the Jobber and all women of the wrestling industry. At the height of their shoot hate, Warrior notably posted an hour-long video tearing apart the Hulkster shortly after the death of Randy Savage in 2011. When Warrior was announced as the Hall of Fame headliner for WrestleMania 30, the heat still hadn't been smoothed over. Hogan was given specific instructions to leave Warrior alone that weekend, as Warrior still wanted nothing to do with him. But the two happened to cross paths as Hulk and son Nick toured around the Superdome on a golf cart. As fate had it, there happened to be cameras around when the two engaged in conversation, leading one to wonder if it was possibly staged. By most accounts, the two buried the hatchet then and there, although Warrior's widow Dana claimed that Hogan was one of the few from WWE that did not reach out to the family after her husband's passing days later. Number 9, the WWE Network had less than 700,000 subscribers by WrestleMania weekend. The day after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, WWE launched arguably their greatest product ever, the WWE Network. Once fans survived the first couple of days of the network stream stalling more than Kevin Owens at Fastlane, hi-oh, no, but it's a shame what happened to him, they found it to be an enjoyable product, with every WWE, WCW and ECW pay-per-view available at launch. Giving away Mania for $10 rather than 50, let's face it, is a huge financial risk, and it was established that the network would need 1 million subscribers domestically to break even. Come WrestleMania weekend, WWE only had 2/3 of that, totaling 667,287 subscribers. As of January 31st of this year, the network sits at 1.5 million paid subscribers, but it was rough going for a while. Number 8, Triple H was supposed to work with CM Punk and put him over. Punk walked out on WWE the day after 2014 Royal Rumble and stayed away. On Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast later that year, Punk recalled his final meeting with Triple H and Vince, where crazy, bleeding grandpa tried to pass off the planned WrestleMania 30 match between him and Hunter as a main event to placate Corn Mule Punk. To that, the Second City Saint turned to the game and told him that Helmsley needed to work with him, not the other way around. In regards to the finish, Punk confirmed that he was supposed to win, but walked anyway, stating, "I didn't want to give him the f***ing privilege." Number 7, Triple H's 3 harem girls would all go on to bigger things. The Supercard shuffle led to Triple H working instead with Daniel Bryan in what would be one of Mania's greatest opening matches. Triple H had one of his customized midlife crisis entrances looking like Skeletor f***ed an Oscar. Flanking Helmsley were 3 masked harem girls, all of who would eventually join the main roster, capturing women's gold: Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Alexa Bliss. It was the first of 3 consecutive years that Triple H's entrance featured NXT performers in disguise, as the likes of Finn Balor, Enzo Amore, Solomon Crowe, and Hideo Itami, amongst others, took part in the Terminator and Skull Soldiers entrances. Number 6, Vince felt that WrestleMania 30 could have been the end of The Undertaker. The wrestling world momentarily stopped breathing when Undertaker failed to kick out of Brock Lesnar's third F5. 23 years of history fell at the feet of a part-time wrestler, as opposed to sacrificing the streak to build a new star. According to Dave Meltzer, the consensus is that McMahon simply felt it was time to end it. Undertaker's physical shape in the preceding few years would sometimes render it touch and go if he'd even be able to perform at WrestleMania on a year-to-year basis. Meltzer said that if WrestleMania 30 was believed to be the last match Undertaker could have, Vince felt he needed to lose on the way out. Lesnar just happened to be the written-in opponent when the call was made. Remember in the last list when we said that Brock was originally penned to fight The Rock that year? If Vince was set on 30 being the streak's last ride, who the hell would have broken it? Fandango, probably. Number 5, Lesnar had to carry the match after Undertaker was concussed. At some point early on in the infamous battle, Undertaker sustained a serious head injury. It's not exactly clear when it occurs, but many believe it was outside the ring when Lesnar performed a single leg takedown and Undertaker's head clearly smacks the floor. As the veteran, Undertaker would usually call the match, but the head injury made him foggy. Afterward, Undertaker barely had any recollection of what had gone on, but at least he had the wherewithal to know not to kick out of the fatal F5. With Undertaker compromised, Lesnar had to take the lead, calling the match, which few will remember beyond the finish. Undertaker's struggle to get through certain sequences, namely the German suplexes, gave an indication as to how hurt he was and how Lesnar was clearly trying to take it easy on him. Number 4, referee Chad Patton did not know Lesnar was winning until he made the count. WWE officials these days are told to call it like a shoot. If a wrestler is supposed to kick out before 3, but times it wrong and leaves his shoulder down, the referee has to count him anyway. None of this WrestleMania 2000 bullshit. thank you very much. WWE official Chad Patton made that fateful count of Undertaker's shoulders, not having a clue that his hand was going to hit a third time. According to Meltzer, Patton was never told that Lesnar was winning. In the original airing of the match, Patton indeed renders a count as he's instructed to do, but the bell never sounds. Imagine being Chad Patton and thinking you've just f***ed up the ending to the streak. In fact, many fans in the Superdome thought there'd been a botch until the 21-1 graphic appeared on the Jumbotron. To make it clear that it wasn't a botch on the DVD showing of WrestleMania 30 and on the network version, a ding-ding sound was added in the end. Number 3, it's the first WrestleMania since 19 where somebody other than Cena won the WWE title. 11 years may well be an eternity in the wrestling business. At WrestleMania 19, Brock Lesnar headbutted the ring to death en route to winning the WWE Championship from Kurt Angle, and it was the last time before WrestleMania 30 that the belt changed hands on the big stage without John Cena being the one to win it. At the 10 events between 20 and 29, the WWE Championship was successfully defended on 7 occasions by Eddie Guerrero at 20, Cena at 22 and 23, Randy Orton at 24, Triple H at 25, The Miz at 27, and CM Punk at 28. In the 3 other instances, it was Cena slaying the Dragon, knocking off JBL, Batista, and The Rock at 21, 26, and 29. Daniel Bryan capturing the belt at 30 was a different sort of streak breaker. Number 2, Brie Bella wasn't allowed to celebrate with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's emotional celebration after winning the WWE Championship was pretty perfect. Confetti, pyro, he celebrates with Connors, a jubilant crowd at the Superdome, and a happy Bryan. There aren't many people who would have changed it, except for Daniel Bryan himself. While the new champion did get to celebrate in the ring with his sister Billie Sue and her daughter, he wasn't able to publicly enjoy the moment with fiancée Brie Bella. Brie was stopped at the gorilla position near the entrance tunnel by WWE officials and told she wasn't allowed to go out to join him in the celebration. It's not exactly clear why this is the case. Maybe the Divas melee had underperformed, maybe Brie was supposed to still be hurt from that match. Bryan and Brie were presented as a couple thereafter on Raw, so it's not like they were trying to keep that part of it a secret. It's just weird. And number 1, it's the first WrestleMania in 14 years where every winner was under the age of 40. The Undertaker's streak was broken, Triple H lost clean, Kane and the New Age Outlaws got squashed, Big Show was dumped out of a battle royal in dramatic fashion. Basically, WrestleMania 30 in some ways felt like the last gasp of the Attitude Era. Prior to WrestleMania 30, you'd have to go back to the year 2000 to the last time every single winner was under 40. The winners in 2014 were Cena, elderly at 36, Lesnar, also 36, Cesaro 33, Bryan 32, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, both 28, and Seth Rollins 27, and AJ Lee at 26. The pre-show winners were the Usos, both 28. Every WrestleMania from 21 through 29 saw a 40-plus-year-old Undertaker winning his matches. Going backward, 20 had Ric Flair, 19 had Hulk Hogan, 18 had Diamond Dallas Page, and 17 had Iron Sheik winning the Gimmick Battle Royal, if you wish to count that. WrestleMania 30 felt like the dawn of a new era. Well, for as long as that lasted. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here, and you can follow Justin Henry, the man who writes these articles on the website on Twitter. Here, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.